Soul is Pixar's brand new film and dropped on Disney Plus on Christmas Day, and I watched it, and I thought this movie was another great Pixar movie that captured great emotion and was a unique and interesting story, and I'd love to talk about Soul. I thought it was very, very interesting, and one of my favourite films of the year so far. Pixar have released some great movies, they've released some meta movies, but when they are great, they are really, really great, and they have really unique ideas. This film has a plot and similar, and world building similar to some of their other movies, sort of like Inside Out and Coco, has a similar form of world building about like our real world troubles and imprinting that into a fanciful world. And this movie does a really good job of doing that and making it feel still investing and exciting, with a few really unique styles of animation that I didn't expect, and also two really, really great lead characters. And let's talk about Soul. Start off, Pixar. Of course, they're going to make wonderful animation. There's some brilliant things with animation. Some of it looks real with this stuff on Earth. Of course, you're aware that it's animation, but it looks really, really real, and it's able to really add to the immersity. And here they have two very different styles of animation, extremely realistic animation, along with this extremely fanciful, sort of childlike animation. I think works really, really well at a good contrast, and I think it does a really, really good job at doing that and making it feel extremely unique in different places. And it also uses music in an interesting way, in the sort of similar way that Coco used music, and that aspiration of someone wanting to play music, and they're trying to find that spark within them and that purpose within them. And that's exactly what Soul does very well. But this movie, its message is very different than what I expected. It has a message about purpose in life, why you have a purpose in life, what your purpose in life is, and trying to find that. And these two main characters present that really, really well. It shows it from the perspective of someone who's living a terrible life but wants to get back to it, even though there might be nothing left there for him. And this other person who's never lived before, living his life and seeing what that's like, and sort of realising that it isn't all that bad and not what she thought it was. And these two characters parallel each other's messages so well, but it has an interesting take on the purpose of life and what that could mean, and has an interesting message to everyone that I thought was actually really powerful and unexpected. I was assuming it to go the other way, but this movie, I don't want to spoil it for you, because this review is spoiler-free, so the movie's only just out, and I do recommend you see it. But this message was presented in a really unique way, and it really made it stand out, and these two characters were really the heart and soul of this entire film, no pun intended. But this movie was really, really great in that way, and I really enjoyed the message that it was trying to portray, and it added for quite a lot of good emotion to it as well. Now, of course, it does sort of cut back to these sequences on Earth, and then sort of in this like afterlife. I much preferred the sequences on Earth, and when it was on Earth and when it got into its story on Earth in the middle of the film, it was far much more exciting film and much more immersive. It had extremely creative ideas with what they did with these characters and what they did with souls in different bodies, and I thought it was really, really fun what they do. And it wasn't just funny, it was hilarious, but it was also extremely heartwarming as well. And seeing how these characters contrast with one another, I thought was really, really great. And Pixar still manages to make such a well-written film within this movie. Pixar could just make random kid entertainment things with unique ideas, but they don't. They try and find the most emotional thing possible, and they also try and make it enjoyable for everyone, where everyone can at least learn something from the film. And this is exactly what Soul does perfectly with the other Pixar movies. And this fantastical place they build up, there is some solid world building there. It's not like something we've not seen before, but I thought it was interesting, but not as interesting as the stuff in the real world. I found that to be far much more immersive and exciting, and it made the middle act of this movie far more entertaining to me than the first act and the last act, which I thought were a little abrupt. But I really did like the middle portion of this film, of the movie, and that's when I really, really got wrapped up in it. But the first and last act, to me, weren't as interesting as that middle act, and weren't as creative or as fun. But I still enjoyed them, and I still had a great time watching it. And that's really about my only massive issue with Soul, and it sort of ends abruptly. It ends in an ambiguous, hopeful way, and I liked it, but I would have liked just a little more resolution towards the end, and I think a lot of younger audiences watching the movie may feel like it abrupted a bit endly and didn't fully get what the message was. So I think could have done that just a bit stronger and a bit more powerful towards the end. But that's about my only issues with this film. I thought it was a really magical, heartwarming Pixar movie with very, very unique ideas, and a message that was presented in a unique and different way than I was expecting, and a story that wrapped up around its characters was really, really unique, and done in a special way, done in a way that still creates the emotion, creates the heart, and has that magical feeling that Pixar are able to pull off. The music is great, and it uses it in a unique way, as I said. And I think this movie was another great Pixar film. I think it's sort of on par with Coco to me, how I feel about that. It's sort of a bit similar to that, so maybe I like Coco just a little bit more. But it's sort of on that same vein for me. I really, really love Soul. I thought it was another great Pixar movie, and I would definitely recommend checking it out. I'm going to give Soul an A. I'm also going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. Guys, let me know what you thought of the Pixar's brand new film. Make sure to check out my letterboxd down below for far more reviews. And of course, thanks for watching, and goodbye.